This is Jamal Bryant with AVNation with the road to ISE Integrated Systems Europe 2022 happens really for real the 10th through the 13th of May. With me to talk about that is this young man who's responsible for all of it, Mr. Mike Blackman. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Tim. Great to be back with you again. But I'm looking forward to seeing you in person.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We mentioned that the 10th to the 13th. We all kind of know that in January we kind of punted to May. Barcelona's gorgeous. I don't care what time of year it is. So we'll enjoy that. Before we move on, though, and talk about ISE, this show, one thing that folks may not realize is that your organization, your group, they do a lot of different shows around the world, and you had one called Integrated Systems Russia, and obviously with everything going on with Ukraine, you released a statement saying that you guys were kind of getting out of that. Explain for a second what exactly what was that decision making process look like, and what ultimately is the end result?
You know, Tim, at the end of the day, this is something any war is a really tragic and sad situation. And, we don't condone any situation that creates conflict. Um, when the whole thing in Ukraine started, we really were concerned because we have Ukrainian customers. We have an exhibitor who's been with us since year three of ISE and have been a really loyal company working with us. They're prevented from coming because they can't. I mean, even if they can get here, I don't know if they're going to get if they'll be able to get their gear there. So we've allowed them to withdraw from the show free of charge, and we're just looking forward to having them back next year. We hope that this whole situation will end soon. But on the flip side as well, what we also understand, speaking to our Russian customers, is that the people we speak to are not in agreement with this war. They tell us this is a one man war. There's one person behind this, and they're quite upset about it. And we feel sorry for them as well. But we've talked with them. They understand the situation, and they're fully in support of the decisions we've made. And we worked with them to withdraw them from the show. And they understand why we're doing this, and they support why we're doing this as much as their business will suffer as a result. But they're very much behind us on trying to support this action.
All right.
So that's the first thing on the exhibitors we've had. The second thing is we've had a very loyal Russian partner who's also very much against this whole situation, but also understands very clearly why these actions are being taken. They support our decision also on this, and the result is that we've cancelled the ISR will no longer exist. So this show has been cancelled, and we feel sorry for our partner and the position they're in. We feel sorry for all Russians who are not in agreement with what their government is doing. But we particularly feel sympathetic to the Ukrainian people. We've all seen the pictures on TV and seeing how ordinary people are really suffering in what was a beautiful cities.
Yeah, absolutely. My day job, CTI, we're part of PSNI Global Alliance. They've got a member there in the Ukraine who has since made it out. I want to say that they made it to Poland, but I could have that wrong. But yeah, lots of folks in the industry being impacted by this. We talked about certainly last couple of years, Omicron and not Omicron, but COVID and the various variants. Omicron is what drove the decision to move this to May. But as of right now, you guys are going to be there in Barcelona. We're going to be there in Barcelona the 10th through the 13th. Talk for a second about this show specifically and why having it come back in a larger way than what we had last year is so important to the industry.
So, firstly, the industry wants to get back together. We're in a business that's all about face-to-face business. It's it's called AV, and trying to demonstrate the solutions that our industry creates just online is not satisfactory. And there's a longing. People are missing it. We've seen a lot of smaller events, including what we did last year, but also from manufacturers who are trying to get in touch and get back face to face with their customers. they've all said, we are so looking forward to this. We did a survey of our attendees and people coming. We asked them, what's the most important factor driving you to come to ISE this year? Is it about the new products? Is it about seeing what the competition's there? Is it about the education? What do you believe that top was? I
Getting
tell
together,
you,
networking. Yeah.
networking, far ahead of everything else. And we're seeing this in other events, having similar responses. People want to get back together, and we're pleased to be the place where that actually happens.
All right. You also have a number of partner kind of events, coming together. One thing that I'm personally looking forward to is hanging out with the yacht folks. Um, Not that I own a yacht, I just think it's cool.
Well, you never know. It might be a couple of cheap second-hand ones hanging around in
I might pick
Barcelona.
up one. Yeah. My wife may not like that, but I might come back from Barcelona with a yacht. What are one or two things that you though are really excited about beyond the networking? Because I know you enough to know that is one of your main things. But what's one or two things that you guys have kind of got up your sleeve that you're really excited to kind of roll out to the folks?
This year, immersive art is going to
Mm,
be the big thing at ISE.
yeah,
We've got Rafiq Anadol coming in doing our keynote. I know other shows have announced they've got him. We've been in discussion with Rafiq since the beginning of last year, and Rafiq unfortunately became a professor at UCL, and his schedule was tied up for February in teaching. But with the move, he was able to recommit and say yes. I mean, when I called him and said, "Hey, do you know ISE?" He said, "I love ISE. I'm always there." And I said, "Would you like to do a keynote?" He said, "Wow, you want me to do the keynote?" And I said, "Yeah, come on." So we have someone who's really exciting, who loves what ISE is and
yeah,
loves our industry coming in. So it's going to be a lot about digital art. We've got a couple of other things which we'll be announcing in the next couple of weeks that we're doing, really wow stuff in terms of digital art and immersive digital art. And I think there are quite a few other manufacturers at the show who are showing things in that way.
yeah,
We've got a projection mapping. There will actually be two projection mappings happening in the city leading up to the show. So again, we'll be announcing that later on this month or in April.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so see, these are some of the exciting things I'm looking at and what we're doing. You're going to see a lot of product launches or the first real showing of a lot of new products. They've been previews to smaller groups over the last months, and but this is the time when so many manufacturers are saying, now we're going to roll this stuff really out.
Well, that's the thing is one of the common threads throughout the last 2 years is this industry specifically has we've tried to do virtual, right? And we've done some really good stuff virtually. Education certainly you can do virtually, but there's something about showing product in the AV space. It is unlike doctors and lawyers and other trades where you have a drug. Here's the effects of it and this that and the other. Viewing and listening to the next generation of speakers or the next generation of displays through a compressed internet
Mm.
on your older generation devices doesn't quite work, right? So that is certainly one of the things that I think we're all looking forward to as well. You mentioned the projection mapping, and I don't want people to forget this. You guys started that in Amsterdam about a
Correct.
year or two before that the show left there. Talk about the importance of you using what we all do to kind of benefit the city, the host city.
There are a few things we do, and I think one of the things we always look at to say, "Hey, we're coming in." I always felt sorry for the people who lived around Amsterdam Rye. I was thinking, we come into town and we disrupt this whole place, the traffic jams, and I mean, I had one day when I went back to, I had an appointment to go to, and I said to the driver, "Please take me first to the Akura Hotel." It's like a 10-minute walk. It took us half an hour to get to the Akura when the show closed. And that was even taking the shortcuts that the driver knew. And that's the sort of thing. And so we always try to do something where we say, "Hey, we do something for you. We don't want you to come in the show as just general public, but we'll do something where you say, okay, that was nice."
Yeah.
but also something which um, helps our industry promote what they're doing, not only to their customers but to the general public as well. So we started projection mapping some years back, but we always tried to do something spectacular, whether it was inside or outside. And we promised Barcelona we would do something similar. And we have some even bigger things in mind for the future. Some really crazy ideas, but we feel it's a nice way to show the city what our industry can do, some of what our industry is about. So they get to. I spoke at a conference yesterday in Barcelona, and the key question that came up on there, and this was from senior business people in the city. This is the owners and CEOs of some of the major companies. And the big question they ask is, what is ISE about? And I always try to explain to such an audience, we're not about products, we're not about projectors, but we are. But we're about solutions. We're about creating experiences, whether you go shopping, whether you're in your workplace, or whether you're at home. And I love our industry. I love talking about it. So when I
Yeah.
try and tell people this is what it's about, everyone says, "Wow, you're so enthusiastic about this." I said, "Who can help be enthusiastic about this? This is what it's a really great industry."
Tell me we're not going to projection. Well, we are going to projection map on the Pacifica Familia.
Not this year.
All right, let me, because that would be. I mean, the facility itself. If you've never seen it, look it up because it's gorgeous in itself. But that would be an interesting. I think that would be an interesting project to be.
Watch this space.
All right, very good. iseurope.org, iseurope.org, the 10th to the 13th of May. You and I will get to hang out. Uh, Anything else that folks need to know going in, or why should they make the trek to Barcelona? I guess is the best way to wrap this up.
So the first thing is that you want to see what's going on in the AV industry. You want to see what's new. You want to meet up with your colleagues. You want to meet up with your friends. This is all the place to be. But big time this time, it's going to be warm. Bring your sunglasses. Bring your trunks. It's going to be warm. It's going to be a little different to everything you've experienced at ISE in the past. But it's the industry is getting back together. There'll be a lot of networking events going on. We already know from many companies who are now planning pre-show events, post-show events, after evening events during the show. So it's going to be an exciting place. I think the culture of the city is great in terms of if you want to find something to do, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Blackman from ISE. Thank you, sir. We'll be having a couple of those parties.
Yeah, the other tip I can give to everybody is book your hotels. It gets busier in May. Please watch out. There are a lot of scam emails going around from people who are trying to get your hard-earned euros and dollars. Go to the IS Europe website. Use our agent B Network. Use the link there. You'll get favorable rates where they've blocked and negotiated very good rates that you won't get directly. And that's the way to do it. Book your flights now, register, get your name on there and get registered and go there. And if you don't have a code for a free registration, I'm sure Tim will give you his.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, sir. IS Europe, again, then Integrated Systems Europe, we will see them at the 10th through the 13th in Barcelona at the Fira. For us, for AVNation, go by our website and follow along as we also head to Integrated Systems Europe. Go by our website, avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv.